Hi, this is Kristen from Spree Create, a division of Spree. And this week I'm tackling a two-page spread including Easter photos. So I'll do this using some flip pages as well as some multi-size page protectors. So what I'm doing first is, again, I've done a photo dump and I've taken all my week's photos from my phone and I've sent them to my Epson PM400 printer. And I'm just now trying to decide what cards I'm going to use. I end up using in front of me almost all of the cards are from, all of my journaling cards are from the Project Life Kit uh, Project 52 Daring Edition. And I find the colors of this one match my pictures pretty well. There's lots of blues, a terracotta color, as well as some yellows. And again, when I'm using my weekly photos, there's really no color scheme, so I try my best to find some cards to really incorporate the pictures and make them kind of blend. So here I'm just chopping down all the photos and trying to make sure that the placement is right so that I get a nice even spread of colors across the page. So for my title card, I chose a card and it was a little bit too intense. So what I'm doing here is I took a piece of vellum and my Ali Edwards Alpha, these are about 1-inch letters, alphas and numbers, and I'm stamping week 15, and I go back to my little reference guide there. I have a calendar and I'm going to use that as an overlay. So you can see up there, I'm just using that vellum to tone down the colors. I wanted to use that card, but you weren't going to be able to see week 15 if I had used stickers or something over top of it. So I think that was a good solution. So I'm just continuing back, putting my placements, the cards on my two-page spread. And what I'm finding is that on this second page, the colors are really, really dark. The pictures are really dark. So I'm telling a story about my son and his adventures to the hospital with his broken arm, and the pictures are really dark. So I decide to use a flip. So I'm using a 4x6 sleeve. I don't always do it this way, but I am taking a sleeve and I'm going to trim it. And then I'm actually going to use the fuse tool and attach it. So I'm going to melt it right to the page. This way I can use the journaling cards to help incorporate the colors, also tell the story and use those pictures without the page being so dark. So this is real time right here with the fuse tool. I'm going nice and slow. I speed it up because no one wants to watch going that slow, but it is important to let your fuse tool heat up. So I have the older version. You can buy them that are cordless now that operate on the battery. So I'm just making sure that everything was sealed, and I'm going to do my journaling on the back side of that card a little bit later. So you'll see me do this a lot. I pull from the core kits. I take the cards that I know I'm not going to use, and I will adhere my 2 3x4s to it if they're going into a 4x6 pocket. So I decide to do another fuse flip. So I'm hiding, one of the images is just a whole lot of laundry, and the other image is kind of a before and after. So I decide to tuck that in so that you're going to flip. You're going to see the before and flip to the after, and then I'm going to journal on the back side of this. So the next thing I'm going to tackle in a photo flip is another picture. Here I have 3 pictures of the same image, all with different editing, and I want to include it. So I take a 3x4 pocket sleeve. So these are just, again, they're plain, they don't have any, some of the flips will come with adhesive on them. This one was just a little pocket, and I am going to use some double-sided tape, and I'm going to find out where I want it there, and I just fold it over the flap, and I'm actually adhering it straight to the card because it's on the top. I don't have anywhere really to fuse it to the page, and I don't want to seal the entire page. So to beef it up a little bit, I'm going to use my tape again, and I'm going to use an unwanted 4x6 card, and I'm going to layer that, sandwich it on the back so that I have an extra layer just to make that card nice and sturdy so that I'll be able to flip as well. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to decide how I'm going to, or what I'm going to use for some tabs, so that when you're flipping through, you're going to know that these are interactive pages and that you're going to be able to flip them up. So I decided to use Ali Edwards. These are little fold over tab stickers. I end up putting them on once and then I have to take them off and move them up. I don't like the placement. And I'm just now trying to even out the color. So you can see that second page is really, really dark. So I decided that I'm going to make a 6x8 photo insert, or a 6x8 scrapbooking page, to kind of cover up the left-hand side of those pictures that are really dark. So I'm just using cards straight from that Project 52 Daring Edition. I use some foam tape to tape along the back to add some dimension, because this card is not going into a pocket page, it's not going into a sleeve. So I just used some 3x4 cards that had just some patterns on them. I cut them down to 2.5 by 2.5 squares, and I'm going to adhere my picture. I'm going to frame it. So what I have off to the side here is just a little box. I keep a box of scrap paper that I know I'm going to use right on my desk. I go through it, I find something to add a little border. I want everything to be kind of asymmetric on this page, so I frame that out, and again I just use some tape to adhere that, and I'm going to use foam tape on just about everything on this page. So you can see how that 6x8 page is covering those really dark images and really bringing all the colors together. This page is a just a complete mix of different products that are sitting on my table. So I have the Ali Edwards sticker there, and then I decide to get my bits and pieces and try to add to the ephemera and the die cuts on this page. So what I'm pulling from here is a little container. It has some die cuts from Vicki Boutin, as well as some leftover pieces from who knows when. And I'm just going through my little box. Those are some chipboard stickers, and I'm trying to see if I'm going to add any bits and pieces from, I think all of those are from Ali Edwards. And again, it's a collection of over time. So these, I end up using some little bits and pieces from Ali Edwards, but I also use these little bird veneers because it is Easter and the weather is changing, and there are some bright colors in that picture. So I'm trying to kind of incorporate all of that. So I very intentionally put the foam tape on two pieces horizontally so that I can also tuck the die cuts in around when I'm trying to add dimension. And so I'm using foam tape, like I said, for just about everything on here, and it gives me that space to tuck these little die cuts in. And I'm using foam tape. I use some heavy duty Gorilla Glue to use. I go back and use it to adhere the chipboard hearts, as well as the chipboard stickers and the wood veneers, just to make sure, because again, this page is not going in a sleeve, so it's just going to go straight into my scrapbook with the binder clips. So I'm just using some double-sided tape and putting all the pieces together. I decide that I want to use a little bit of I want some splatter on there, so I'm using Heidi Swapp Shine in gold, and I've just taken a package actually from some stickers, and I protected the picture there before I tapped. So I decided that I need one more flip, so of course I grabbed my tiny attacher, and it was out of Staples, so I refill that, and I'm stapling two journaling cards together. One with the journaling on the front, or the design on the front, and then one with journaling on the back. And I'm just going to use washi tape and tape it right down. So this is the back side of a sleeve. So I could have used a fuse tool to fuse that, but I just wanted the texture and a little bit more of design on this page, because it was just simply the pictures. There wasn't much going on this page, so I decided to use the washi tape just for a little bit of extra. And I go back, I tape both sides, and I'm also going to use it to create again a little tab, so that you know that this is an interactive card. So I just grab the washi tape again and just tape from the front to the back, leaving a little extra, and make a tab. And then I staple that down just to make sure that it stays in place. So there's another interactive page, which also hides my journaling. So what I just grabbed here is a little piece of sticker. So when I use Ali Edwards label stickers, or anyone's label stickers for that matter, they're all oftentimes they're coming off the side of the page. So when I trim that little piece right there, I actually don't get rid of it. I stick it right to the edge of one of my trays on my desk, and I will use those. There's a scrap piece there now that I end up using to journal on one of the pictures, but it's just enough white space to journal. So I don't throw them out. I always save them no matter how small. So I'm using the Daring Edition, Project Life Daring Edition chipboard stickers. Just so happens I still have a package in my stash, even though they are a bit older, and the colors are perfect. Obviously, they go with the cards that I ended up using, and the chipboard stickers are perfect because I'm journaling about. Right there's where I use that little piece of extra sticker. They're perfect because they have some pictures of little houses, and I am talking about some home renovations that I took on this week, and the colors of some of the other chipboards are perfect. So I'm putting little stickers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on the tabs that I created from my flip pages on the second page of the weekly spread. That actually is when all of those things took place, and they just add a little bit more detail so you notice them. So now I have inserted my 6x8 page in the center of my 2-page 12x12 spread, and you can see here it is, the sun is going down, and the glare on these pages is pretty tricky, but in my defense, I was scrapbooking and cooking dinner, so I come and go a lot during this page, but I love how it all came together. I love the colors that ended up kind of coming together in this page as well, which really incorporates or kind of links all of these random photos together in a really good way. Lots of space for journaling, and again, I think the story of this week was told perfectly. So in behind this page, I was able to tuck in all of our Easter pictures, but also was able to tell the story of this week. Thanks for watching.